He's just like, oh yeah, I guess I never explained this to you. Yeah, no, we've found you in this planet and world, God, so many generations ago. We've helped you establish the civilization. She's like, for how long have you done this for? And he's like, I'll just go ahead and show you. And he's and he just cyclically links with her mind, and she's like, oh! Let's go ahead and move on to my review for Madoka Magica episode 11, the penultimate episode, chat, not only of the season, but of the series. We're almost at the end of this journey, but what a journey it's been. It's been absolutely incredible, chat. You know, this wonderful deconstructive take on the magical girl subgenre of content on other shows like Sailor Moon. It's been dark. We've had many twists and turns, but it's been endlessly entertaining. And last episode we were shown the origin of Hamura and what she's gone through. We learned that she's been in this Groundhog's Day time loop, trying to save Madoka, trying to save as many of the magical girls as she possibly can, but seemingly always failing. It always goes wrong. Either they all end up dying, or Madoka never becomes a witch. And Kyubey has finally pieced this all together. He's finally figured it out, because he's probably been wondering himself, why has Madoka why has Madoka had so much potential? Why is she so seemingly powerful? And he's finally figured it out. And apparently, Chad, it has everything to do with Hamura and her recent actions. But this episode, it picks up after the events of the previous one. Hamura is in her apartment. She's preparing to battle Valpurgisnacht, Chad, and Valpurgisnacht is nigh. Valpurgisnacht will be attacking the city very, very soon. And Hamura's been preparing for that, even though she's been preparing for this battle so many times over and over and over again. Dozens, hundreds, thousands, millions of times. Yeah, we still don't know how long she's been in this Groundhog's Day time loop, trying to find a way out of this, trying to save as many people as she possibly can. But Kyubey finally goes to confront her in her home. And he's just like, you know what? I have to admit, I didn't know what you were doing for the longest time. But that's what you've had on your side this entire time, is time. And now I have an idea, explains to her, now I have an idea of why Madoka is so powerful, why she has this potential. And Hamura is just, busy preparing. She doesn't even want to acknowledge his presence. But he keeps going off an explanation. He keeps monologuing. And he's like, you have been doing this so many times that now Madoka and everything surrounding her, all of this chaos, all of this energy has now become a fixed point in time because of your interference. And every attempt that you've made has just increased her potential and power, and also made the situation more difficult for herself this entire time. And so Kyubey is just like, bravo! You've done more than I or any other member of my race to create the perfect magical girl, to create the perfect scenario to battle entropy. You've created the very thing we've been trying to do for so long. So bravo, Hamura. And that's the only time where she actually has a reaction. She doesn't say anything to him, but she grabs at her skirt and she's like gritting her teeth. She's like, oh, you little fucking shit. Like she hates him so much. And he just keeps going on about, thanking her for doing this. You've all your various attempts has finally perfected this specific moment in time. Your wish has created the ultimate witch, one which will bring an end to entropy, and the objective of my entire race and my entire species is now attainable because of you and your actions. It was the complete opposite of what Homura's wanted to do the whole time. So she's very frustrated by this, but it's like, oh, he's kind of like rubbing her face in it, even though he's, not being very emotional about it, not being very addictive. He just is, Chad. He's just Kyubey. We immediately cut from that, and we are at the funeral of Sayaka. As you guys know, Kyoko, who was mortally wounded in her battle with which Sayaka tried to save her, wasn't able to, got fucking sliced across the gut, intestines all coming out. She went ahead and she destroyed her own soul gem, killing Sayaka in the process, but also killing herself at the same time. Eventually, someone was smelling something stinky in a hotel room, because apparently Kyoko, she's been like staying at various hotels, motels around the city. She's not, trying to lay down roots anywhere. She was always constantly kind of on the move, living life how she wanted to live it every single day. And she originally brought Sayaka's body, her husk, basically, because as we all know, a magical girl's body is that's not really truly them. Like, what's truly them is their soul gem. Their soul has been removed from their body and put in the soul gem, and if their body becomes separate from the soul gem, then the body is just like a husk. And so since Sayaka is pretty much dead now, her body's been rotting in a hotel room for quite a bit of time, and so someone's like, something's stinking in room 208, we gotta go check. And they just open the door and just rotting flesh and shit and piss. Oh, it must have been horrible, Chad. Horrible. And she voided her bowels. But they found her body. Her family was notified, and of course they were broken up about it, and they're having a funeral for her. And Madoka attends that funeral along with Hitomi, who feels enormously guilty. She thinks that she's responsible for this. Kyosuke's also there, and he's just like, I don't know what the hell's going on. She was my friend. I just don't know, right? And, everyone's crying. Everyone's very sad. But Madoka is kind of the only one that doesn't really have an expression on her face. She's just that blank 1,000-yard stare, because everyone's asking, like, the media is reporting. Like, the media's like, we found this teenage girl who's been rotting in a hotel room, because it's been however many days, since she was separated from her body. And they have no explanation for it. It's like a mysterious death. Some people consider it some form of suicide. They don't know, but the circumstances are very odd and very mysterious. And Madoka, eventually, she returns from the funeral. Her mom goes to also attend with her, and Madoka's still not really speaking to her. Her mom, who is just like, honey, do you want a drink? Not yet. She hasn't started drinking yet. She's not that much. She's a lush. And she's an alcoholic, but she actually did not drink today, as far as we know. Maybe she snuck something at the funeral or something. I'm not sure. But no, like her mother, is trying her best to comfort Madoka. She's like, honey, do you need anything? do you want me to make you some food or something? Do you want to talk about it? And Madoka is just like, I'm fine, Mom. It's okay. I just want to go to my room, if that's okay. And the mom's like, yeah, of course. But what you're feeling is completely natural. Sayaka, I know, was your best friend, and she was such a great girl. And she's like, Mom, I just want to go to my room. And she's like, oh, okay. Okay, but her mom's senses are a tingling, Chad. She knows something is up. She just doesn't know how to approach her daughter. Madoka, she goes to her room, and she is very depressed. She just kind of curls up on her bed. She's in a fetal position. And Chad, we see him before we hear him. We see Kyubey's little shadow suddenly just spread across the room like a dark fucking specter, Chad. That's what he is. He is such a piece of shit. I mean, I love him. I love Kyubey, but he's such a piece of shit. Like, everything it was all a lie. It was all a facade. He was just using all these people to in his mind save the galaxy, save the universe. But just the way he went about it was just so downright despicable. But we just see his shadow just come across her, and she doesn't even react. Like, she knows that he's there. And she doesn't even say anything. She doesn't acknowledge him, but she senses his shadow on her body. And he just asks this question. He's like, I don't get it. I don't really understand this. And Madoka's like, what do you mean? And she finally answers him. She's like, what do you mean? He's just like, I don't know what the big deal is. Why are humans getting so emotional over a single person dying? And she is just, how fucking dare you? She's so disgusted by what he said. She's so disgusted by him. She's like, you are a monster. I wish I never knew you. I wish I've never saved you. How could you say something so despicable and cruel? You know, don't you have a heart? And he literally goes, he sighs. He like sighs for the first time. And he's like, all right, listen. I've tried. I think he was doing that on purpose, though. He's a bit vindictive. I know he's like, I don't understand emotions. Like, no. You knew that question would elicit that kind of response from her. He's been a little bit of a dick. But he's just like, listen, I've tried to explain this to you. You know, I've tried to explain my race's perspective on things. But for whatever reason, Madoka, it doesn't seem to be penetrating that mind of yours, that little fluffy head. And she's like, why don't you enlighten me? All right. And he's like, all right. How about this? I'll explain it this way. We view you, humans, in the same way that you view livestock and the way that you raise livestock. Cows, pigs, chickens, goats, you name it. And she's like, you look at it, us that way? Are you serious? Just such a disgusting, horrible thing to say. And he's like, why is that so bad? Why is that's such a bad comparison? Because we're more than animals. We have thoughts. We have feelings. And he's like, listen to me. All right? Look at their lives. Look at the lives of cows and pigs and chickens. They're protected. They're protected. Do you feel like they would be able to survive as well in the wild? Of course not. You know? They would be hunted probably to near extinction. They get to live comfortable lives, and then they serve a purpose, a singular, wonderful purpose, which is to help your race. That's exactly what my race is doing to you. So you should be very thankful. And Madoka's like, that is absolutely not the same. That's a horrible comparison. And Kyubey, he kind of goes, like, all right, listen. Maybe it's not as similar as livestock. That's fair. But when we first found you all those years ago, you were just animals to us. And she's like, what are you talking about? He's just like, Oh yeah, I guess I never explained this to you. No, we've found you in this planet and world, God, so many generations ago. And we've kind of prodded you. We've influenced you to a degree. We've helped you along. We've helped you establish the civilization. We've helped you establish the civilization that you have now. You're welcome. And she's like, for how long have you done this for? And he's like, I'll just go ahead and show you. And he just cyclically links with her mind. And she's like, oh! And she sees all of human history, chat. She sees all of human history like within an instant. Kyubey is providing it to her. And she's looking at all these major historical figures, and Kyubey explains, it's like, yeah, we've been doing this for generations, thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Actually, ever since prehistoric times, that's what we've been doing. And we influence your civilization, and we look at like all these various historical figures, and he's like, explains like, yeah, all these young women made contracts with us, and were granted these powers to help, battle all these various other witches and threats to their civilizations. Obviously, they succumbed. Because our point is to of this whole entire plan is to combat entropy. And so she sees like Cleopatra was a magical girl, Joan of Arc was a magical girl, like all these women, like the Salem witch trials, like it's all tied to Kyubey and his species. And so all the various, so many of the countless tragedies that have befell humanity, you know, everything from the Black Plague to terrorist attacks to world wars, and all this human suffering and the millions and billions that have died are because of Kyubey and his species. It's all because of him. And she's just like, oh my God, you're a monster. And he's just like, we just helped you reach your potential. All right? Don't you understand? I don't think you understand. You'd all still be living in caves right now, shivering and stinking in your own filth. So again, you're welcome. It's like, oh my God. And Madoka, she's just hearing all this. It's just all washing over, and she's like, wow, like that's how long this has been going on for, this whole magical girl thing. You know, the witches. All of this has caused so much insurmountable human suffering, and it's all because of Kyubey and his race. Eventually, we cut from that, and we're with the homeroom teacher, and she's getting fucking drunk. You know who her drinking buddy is, Chet? Obviously, Madoka's mom. Of course, Mrs. Kaname. And they're both drinking. The homeroom teacher, you know, she's blaming herself for Sayaka's death. She feels like she failed her, that she didn't notice the signs. To be fair, I have to admit, the homeroom teacher was not a very good teacher. She was just always going off about her own personal problems, like to her students. Like, that's not very appropriate. I mean, so true though. I've had so many teachers that just talked openly with the class before even doing the lesson plan. She's like, well, here's what happened to me today and what's going on at home. It's like, we're not your psychiatrist. I don't think you should be telling us these things. I don't think that's great. She was doing a lot of that. But she's talking to the mom, and she's kind of blaming herself. And maybe she played a bit of a role in Sayaka being the way she is. It certainly didn't help the situation. She certainly wasn't what Sayaka needed her to be, which is to be a actual teacher. And the mom just says, like, I should have known myself. I saw Sayaka practically every single day, like all the time. I should have recognized those signs. I knew her better than you did. And and then she just starts breaking down. She's like, I'm a terrible mother. You know, I have a drinking problem. She finally admits to it. It's like, I'm a little bit of an alcoholic. And the teacher's like, oh, it's not that bad. And the mom's like, you don't understand. Every other night I'm coming home just fucking drunk. And the teacher's like, all right, that's fair. But Madoka's mother is also struggling because she knows something is wrong with Madoka. And usually Madoka's always been, you know, very honest and forthright, but she's noticed that she's just changed completely over these past couple of weeks. She knows something is wrong, and every time she's kind of reached out, trying to console her daughter, to try to connect with her, Madoka's just kind of pushed her away. Not like in a super aggressive way, not in like, I fucking hate you, Mom, nothing like that. Madoka's just listless, you know, she's seemingly emotionless, right? And she's very closed off. And the mother knows that there's something wrong. And the teacher she basically just says, you know, she just lost her best friend. You know, she's processing that grief. You just need to give her some time, and eventually she will open up to you. And the mother's like, I suppose you're right. Speaking of Madoka, she goes and she visits Homura, because the last part of her conversation with Kyubey, she asks, you know, Kyubey is like, well, what's Homura doing right now? And she's like, you know, preparing for Valpurgisnacht. Can't wait for the rise of Valpurgisnacht. And so she goes there because she has a lot of concerns. And Madoka is like, you know, Homura, I know you talked about this before, about it's possible to fight Valpurgisnacht just by yourself. I know, but Kyosuke, excuse me, not Kyosuke, Kyoko. All these goddamn characters have similar sounding names. Kyoko, she said that's not possible whatsoever. So I don't want to say that you're a liar, but I feel like you're not telling me the honest truth. Okay, we've been through so much now at this point, and I just want you to be honest. And Homura is her facade, which she's always kind of maintained around this particular Madoka, because she's probably, has seen Madoka dozens, hundreds, thousands, if not millions of times at this point, and probably has even seen this scenario countless times too. But that her facade finally kind of breaks down and breaks away, fades away, and she's honest with her. And Homura's just like, I have to be truthful with you. I don't know if I can beat this thing, if I can beat her. We've done it like alone. We've done it together before, but that's always resulted in horrible things. And Madoka picks up, what do you mean before? What are you talking about? And Homura like goes over to her because she's like, oh, I fucked up. I slipped up. And she goes over there and she finally hugs Madoka. And she's like, you have been my best friend in so many different timelines. I love you. You're always so caring and kind to me. But I'm not from this world. I'm from another timeline. I can't remember how long ago. I've been doing this for so long, and I'm sorry that I've lied to you for so long. Not just to you, but so many countless versions of you that I've constantly lost time and time again. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, but I'm the only one that can do something. I need to try. And Madoka's just like, she's like, oh, it's just like crying, and Madoka's just like, it's okay. It's like trying to comfort her as she's talking about all this. But she's finally telling, Madoka the truth of it all. But then we cut to the city, and like Valpurgisnacht's arrival is nigh. We see like these massive storms forming overhead. It's all overcast. There's lightning. There's thunder. There's rain. On we cut to like the various like weather channels and meteorologists and things, and they are like, there's like these massive storms and tsunamis that it looks like it could devastate the city, and so they broadcast across the city like, you need to leave your homes, you need to go to all these evacuation centers and wait to be take on the city, because it's going to be absolutely devastating. And that's the other thing too, like a lot of these Kyubey also explains, a lot of these environmental and ecological disasters, they were caused by these all-powerful witches. So all these magical girls who have been trying to protect their homes and communities and cities and civilizations from all these various threats. Inevitably, they become the very threat that destroys their civilization. So all the fall of all these great human civilizations were because of Kyubey and his kind, because these people, these girls, these women became witches and laid waste to huge swaths of the human population. But what's really cool, though, we cut to, as they're like, everyone's evacuating, they're all getting these evacuation centers. Like, Homura's like the only one outside in the city. It's just a really cool shot, because it's this huge wide shot, and it's all stormy and cloudy overhead. There's lightning coming down, there's rain and stuff, and she's like right near like this body of water, this river. And she's like standing there, like waiting, like this is where, because she's been here before. She knows. She's like, this is where she always shows up, Valpurgisnacht. And suddenly, like this mist just forms in the water, and it like shoot towards her, and it's like comes up to like her ankles and her legs, and it just goes by, and she's like, she starts walking through the mist, and we start to see like all these like little familiars and all these little cute creatures, and like it's like a circus themed and stuff, and we follow this little like smooch, this little cutesy little smooshy thing, and he's like, and he gets squished. He gets squished by this monstrous elephant, and it's like, oh god! But she goes, closer and closer and closer. It's like the creatures and all the little entities and feelings, they become more monstrous over time until finally, Chad, Valpurgisnacht reveals herself, right? And she's huge. She's a big broad, I must say. But really, it's like she's upside down. She's like wearing like one of those Victorian era dresses. That's what it is. And there's like this giant obelisk sticking out of her hoo-ha, like out of her vagine, Chad, like this city. It's or something. It's like this kind of like onyx or like ebony colored like building sticking out of her vagine, and she's upside down. You like see her limbs and her face. She's going like that. It's like, whoa, right? And it's like, well, that's not good. And Homura sees this, and you could tell she's been preparing for a while, Chappie. She's like, all right, let's fucking go. This time I'm gonna beat you, or I'm gonna win. And we see her just throw absolutely everything she has at this thing, at this witch. She like summons all these rocket launchers. Like she has this just field of rocket launchers, and she like goes to each one because her device can like hold like it's just like this infinite like gauntlet bag or whatever, and she pulls out all these rocket launchers, but she also manipulates time, so she kind of freezes it. She's able to put all this stuff down, and so she just goes from rocket launcher to rocket launchers, pew, and just picks the next one up, pew, just fires it at all at Valpurgisnacht. And eventually all these rockets are in the air and they go boom and they all hit Valpurgisnacht at once. But she's not done because she also summons our artillery. And at one point Valpurgisnacht's kind of like, blasted back from all this stuff. It's kind of like, Jesus Christ, didn't expect this much. And then she takes control of this massive like gas truck, this huge truck with a massive container of gas in the back. And she fucking manipulates this thing, rides this across the bridge and yeets that shit at Valpurgisnacht, fucking hits Valpurgisnacht like, and like blows up Valpurgisnacht. She flies across the city. The buildings are being destroyed. Everything's blowing up and exploding. Skyscrapers are coming down. It's like Man of Steel. It's like Superman coming down and murdering all the citizens of Metropolis in Man of Steel. It's horrifying, Chance. Horrifying, right? And eventually, Valpurgisnacht, she like falls into this cavern, and it's like, oh shit, like what's Homura gonna be doing now? And like Valpurgisnacht's trying to like climb out of it. Then we see all these blinking red lights that surround this massive cavern, and we realize that it's fucking C4. Like Homura went out of her way to place all this C4 in here, and it goes ba-boom, and it causes this just massive explosion, like a mushroom cloud and shit. And Homura's like, I fucking got you, bitch. I fucking got you. Then boom, she gets smacked. She gets smacked back. She's like, and she flies back because Valpurgisnacht, she climbs out of that giant hole, that giant cavern, and she's got all this debris on her, and she's just like brushes that shit off like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. Homura's like, God damn it. And she continues fighting Valpurgisnacht. We eventually come back to Madoka. We come to Madoka and her family. They're at one of the shelters at the evacuation center. And, like, everyone's hearing all this destruction. Everyone's, like, fucking scared and shit. And they're like, oh, my God, the city's, like, being destroyed by whatever the hell this, hurricane, tsunami is, right? But she knows that it's Homura fighting Valpurgisnacht. And she comes up with an excuse because her family are there. They're all in their cots, taking care of her baby brother. Yeah. And she's like, Mom, I got to go to the bathroom. She's like, okay, honey, but be right back very quickly. She's like, okay. But she doesn't go to the bathroom, Chad. She don't need to pee. She don't need to shit. Because she wants to have a conversation with Kyubey, who's also there. And they're, like, looking outside the massive storm and stuff. And they're seeing maybe little bits of destruction in the far, far off. They can't really get a good look at it, obviously. But she talks with Kyubey. And she doesn't even look at him, but she goes, is it possible for Homura to win? And he avoids giving an answer. He's just like, maybe. I'm sure in some timelines that she's won, but she's always had to reset. Instead of asking all these questions, Madoka, why don't you just go outside and see for yourself? Because he just wants to encourage her to go see it. So she would probably freak out and never really make the contract with him to become a magical girl, because that's what he wants at the end of the day. And she's just like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. And he's like, well, I think I'm pretty sure that Homura would like to see you, because if she loses all hope, then, well, that's it. That'll be the end of everything. She's like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, you know, the best scenario, if she fails to kill Valpurgisnacht, she'll just go back in time, try again, and this whole thing will repeat, right? But, you know, if she chooses not to do that, then she'll lose all hope. She'll lose all hope and inevitably turn into a witch herself, a very powerful one at that. And that'll be the end of everything. That'll be the end of her attempts. It'll be the end of this timeline, and, well, you'll have to make your choice whether to become a magic girl or not to stop all this. But that will be her ultimate fate. Like, she can't end this loop of hers, because if she does, then everything is gone. Everything. And just like, and he says, just like all the other magical girls throughout history. And she's like, fuck that. I gotta go out there. I gotta reach her. I gotta talk to her. I have to see her. And he's like, okay, and that's exactly what he wants. And so she proceeds to go outside. Like, she turns, she's going down these stairs, running down these stairs. But her mom, despite being a lush, despite being a drunken alcoholic, her mom's senses, while dulled, were a-tingling. And she sees her daughter going. She's like, whoa, where are you going? Where are you going? And Madoka's just like, Mom, I know this sounds crazy, but I need to go out there. She's like, no, you don't. You got to tell me what's going on. It's like, Mom, if I even try to attempt to explain this to you, you're not going to believe me. I need to go. And the mom's like, look at me. And Monica like, Mom, I can't. She goes, she fucking smacks her daughter across the face. Monica takes it like a champ, though. She doesn't start crying or anything. And she's like, I just want you to talk to me, okay? I don't know what's going on with you. I know you've been going through a lot. Everything that happened with Sayaka, but you're not the same. You're not the same person. Talk to me. Be honest with me, please. Please. And, you know, she says, Mom, I love you, and I love Dad, and I love my little brother. Yes, there have been crazy things happening that I have not told you about. What's happening out there, it needs to end. And the only way it can end is if I go out there. I know what I'm saying sounds crazy, but you need to believe in me. There's a friend out there who's suffering right now, who needs me more than anyone else, who needs me more than you or Dad or little brother right now. Like, I need to be there for him, okay? I need to, like, I've always been honest with you. I've always been earnest. I love you, but you need to let me do this, okay? And the mom's just, she's like, just be careful. Just be careful, please. Okay? And she's like, I will, and I love you, Mom. And they hug, and she rushes out there. She rushes out there. Eventually, we cut back to Homura, and she's still trying to engage Valpurgisnacht. She's throwing whatever she can at him, attacking him with all sorts of different weapons. It's not effective. The initial part of the battle was everything that she had, and now she's just coming up with stuff on the spot, trying to figure out, like, what can I do differently, but it keeps failing every time. Everything she throws at her, able to brush it off like nothing. And the Valpurgisnacht just starts going around the city. He's like, I can't wait to fuck all these people up, and starts destroying more skyscrapers, you know, and starts heading towards all the evacuation zones, starts heading towards all these storm shelters. And Homura's like, I can't let it get there. It's going to kill all those people. And she tries to stop it. It just fucking hits her so goddamn hard. She's like hopscotching across the city. Boom. She crashes in this building. This debris falls on top of her, crushes her leg. She's like, just crushes her leg. There's like chunks of bone are sticking out, shit, meat bleeding profusely. She's got a fucking head wound. She's like, fuck, it's hopeless. I've done this so many times, hundreds, thousands, millions of times. It's always the same thing, some variation of the same thing. I fail. I always fail. I can't save anyone. I can't save Madoka. I can't even save myself. And then we see her soul gem. It's getting darker and darker and darker and murkier, and it's like, oh shit, it's getting to the point where it looks like it's going to become a grief seed chat where just like Kyubey has said, it looks like Homura is going to become a witch, and then that'll end the Groundhog's Day situation. Is going to end the Groundhog's Day time loop, but then it'll spell the end of not only Homura but also Madoka and this entire city and human civilization as we know it. And like the soul gem is just near like total corruption, but then suddenly Monika's hand comes out and touches Homura's hand where the soul gem is. She covers it. She holds up your hand, and Homura's like, he's fucking like, because she's all fucked up and she's bleeding, and she's gone in the shock at this point. But she sees Madoka. She's like, Madoka, why are you here? You shouldn't be here. I can't save you. I can't save anyone. Monika's like, shh, it's okay. You've done so much for me and for everyone, and we never asked you to. We never asked you to. At least I didn't. Maybe other versions of me did. So many countless versions. But I'm telling you now, you don't have to do it anymore. You can stop. It's okay. All right? You've done enough. You don't need to worry. I'm going to do something now. It's all on me. And when we see Kyubey's like, ooh, Kyubey pops up in the background. Chat, we see him before we hear him. We see his long fucking dark shadow cast over the two of them. And he's like, yes, finally. Contract, yes. Oh, God. He's getting so excited. He's like, oh, it's here. He can't wait. And then Madoka just turns around and she sees Valpurgisnacht. And she looks down at Kyubey, and Kyubey with his fucking red little eyes and his little smile is like, yeah, do it, yeah. And when we hear Homura, we cut to Homura, who's just like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't want it to happen this way. And that, my friends, is my review, my spoiler review, my scene by scene breakdown, chat, to Madoka Magica. Episode 11, the penultimate episode of this season, of this series. And what an episode it was. Next week, chat, we're going to get to the finale. Very, very exciting. I've been loving this show so far. So many of these episodes have been absolutely fantastic. This one was great. The stakes have never been higher, and I'm very curious to see how it's all going to play out. Can't wait. I haven't seen the episode yet, so I don't know. But yeah. So goddamn good. Kyubey, what a little fucking asshole. But that was a great reveal. It's like, oh yeah, we've been influencing you. I love that he's just like, you guys were just, smelling each other's farts in caves before us. And guess what? If we had intervened, you'd still be smelling each other's farts. You'd be nothing. You'd be shivering in your own filth without us in those caves. It was like, God damn. Oh, Lord. But so great.